मैं प्रोफेसर नरेंद्र कुमार पांडे, फिजिक्स डिपार्टमेंट, लखनऊ यूनिवर्सिटी से। आज मैं अपने लेक्चर जो कि मैं लेजर्स के ऊपर मैंने सीरीज शुरू की थी, उस सीरीज का 8वां लेक्चर मैं डिलीवर करने जा रहा हूं और मैं आप सबका अपने इस लेक्चर में स्वागत करता हूं। आज के इस लेक्चर का टॉपिक है नेचुरल और लाइफ टाइम लाइन ब्रॉडनिंग मैकेनिज्म। जो लेजर में जहां हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि हमें बिल्कुल ही मोनोक्रोमेटिक बीम मिलना चाहिए, वहां पर बीम हमें मोनोक्रोमेटिक नहीं मिलता है, बल्कि ओमेगा में सर्टेन विड्थ होता है। तो ये जो विड्थ होता है ये वेरियस लाइन ब्रॉडनिंग मैकेनिज्म के कारण होता है। तो हम एक एक करके इन सभी लाइन ब्रॉडनिंग मैकेनिज्म को डील करेंगे, उसके बारे में चर्चा करेंगे। और आज जिस टॉपिक पर हम चर्चा करने जा रहे हैं वो एक बार फिर मैं बताऊं, वो है नेचुरल और लाइफ टाइम लाइन ब्रॉडनिंग मैकेनिज्म। लाइन ब्रॉडनिंग मैकेनिज्म बेसिकली दो तरह के होते हैं, एक होमोजेनस लाइन ब्रॉडनिंग और एक होता है इनहोमोजेनस लाइन ब्रॉडनिंग। होमोजेनस लाइन ब्रॉडनिंग की कैटेगरी में दो तरह के लाइन ब्रॉडनिंग होते हैं, एक नेचुरल लाइन ब्रॉडनिंग और दूसरा कोलिजन लाइन ब्रॉडनिंग। जबकि इनहोमोजेनस लाइन ब्रॉडनिंग की कैटेगरी में एक है, वो है डॉपलर लाइन ब्रॉडनिंग। The broadening of the lines due to various factors is described in terms of the line shape function। जैसा कि हम लोग लाइन शेप फंक्शन के बारे में पहले बात कर चुके हैं, तो जितनी भी ब्रॉडनिंग होती है या जितने भी लाइन ब्रॉडनिंग मैकेनिज्म्स होते हैं, उन सब को फाइनली हम बात करते हैं लाइन शेप फंक्शन के बारे में। तो फाइनली किसी भी ब्रॉडनिंग का जो फाइनल रिजल्ट निकल करके आएगा वो उसका लाइन शेप फंक्शन ही होगा, जो कि हम आगे देखेंगे। होमोजेनस लाइन ब्रॉडनिंग: consider a collection of atoms in a gas that is emitting light. The gas is homogeneously broadened. The gas is homogeneously broadened if all the atoms in the gas are broadened in the same way. In other words, the emission spectrum of each atom is the same, with the same central frequency and line width. As a result, the overall broadening of the gas is the same as the broadening of each atom. For a gas composed of a single species of atoms, all subjected to same environmental conditions, one would expect that natural or lifetime and collision broadening mechanisms would result in homogeneous broadening. ना, जैसा कि हम लोगों ने देखा कि जब एटम्स के सराउंडिंग्स आइडेंटिकल होंगे हर एक एटम के, तो हर एक एटम का एमिशन स्पेक्ट्रम सिमिलर होगा और इसलिए जो हमारा ओवरऑल स्पेक्ट्रम जो होगा वो बिल्कुल इंडिविजुअल एटम के स्पेक्ट्रम से मैच करेगा। जबकि इनहोमोजेनस ब्रॉडनिंग में ये केस नहीं है। इसमें हर एटम का जो सराउंडिंग होता है वो डिफरेंट होता है। इसके कारण सारे के सारे एटम्स का जो एमिशन स्पेक्ट्रम होता है उसकी सेंट्रल फ्रीक्वेंसी अपनी होती है। जैसे ये एक एटम का है, ये दूसरे एटम का, ये तीसरे एटम का, ये चौथे एटम का। इस तरह से हर एक एटम का जो एमिशन स्पेक्ट्रम है वो सारे की सेंट्रल फ्रीक्वेंसी अलग होती है और ओवरऑल स्पेक्ट्रम ऑफ द सिस्टम जो हम लेते हैं, इन सब के ब्रॉडनिंग के कारण एडिशन से ये बन पाता है। So inhomogeneous broadening क्या है? If different light emitters in a gas have different spectra, that is, they have their own different central frequency and or line width, the overall spectrum of the collection of emitter atoms is thus a sum of the varied spectra of the individual emitters. A gas with Doppler broadening as the dominant mechanism will be inhomogeneously broadened. Each atom would effectively have a different central frequency dependent upon its own velocity. So, homogeneous line broadening mechanism acts to broaden the response of each atom in an individual fashion. The probability of absorption or emission of radiation of a certain frequency is the same for all atoms in the collection. Whereas, in the case of inhomogeneous broadening, different groups of atoms are distinguished by different frequency responses. That is what we have gathered till now. Now, in the line shape functions that we get in the broadening mechanism will either be a Lorentzian function or it will be a Gaussian function. Which function is associated with what kind of line broadening mechanism, that we will see in this lecture and subsequent lectures also. So, how do we define a Lorentzian function? A Lorentzian line shape function is represented by an expression of this type. Here, L is the standardized Lorentzian function and its maximum value can be up to 1. L is equal to 1 by 1 plus omega minus omega naught by omega d by 2 whole square. Omega naught represents the position of the maximum corresponding to the transition energy E. Omega is the any position of the frequency and omega d is the full width at half maximum FWHM. The width of the curve when the intensity is half the maximum intensity. And this will occur at points omega d is equal to central frequency omega naught plus minus omega d upon 2. The units of omega naught, omega and omega d is typically wave number or frequency. Now, the second is the Gaussian function. The standard form of Gaussian function is written as g is equal to e to the power of minus log 2 omega minus omega naught by omega d by 2 whole square. Now, here, of course, we can define it by a subsidiary x, where x could be written as omega minus omega naught by omega d by 2 whole square, whether in the Lorentzian function or in the Gaussian function. So, both the Gaussian function and the Lorentzian function have a maximum value of 1 at x is equal to 0 and half at x is equal to plus minus 1. So, here is a figure that shows intensity versus omega minus omega naught by omega d by 2 graph. And it represents both the Gaussian and the Lorentzian functions. In this particular figure, especially the FWHM has been shown to be the same. So we can understand the difference between the plot of a Gaussian or a Lorentzian function. Let us focus now on natural or lifetime line broadening. Now let us see. The quantum mechanics suggests that the electron wave function is oscillating at a frequency given by nu is equal to E upon h. Here, E is the energy of the state that the electron occupies. A wave can have a single frequency if it oscillates indefinitely. That is, for all the time to come. That is, indefinitely means time is infinite. However, an electron in an energy state has a finite lifetime in that state. Hence, the electron will move to another state by spontaneous or some other process. Thus, each state has a finite lifetime. Let us call it tau. The finite duration of the wave function's oscillation introduces additional frequency or energy, we can say. Just now we will see this components to the electron's wave function, thereby broadening its spectrum. This form of broadening can't be unavoidable. This is the natural lifetime broadening or lifetime broadening, and this is the minimum that one has to bear with. This is unavoidable. Nevertheless, the process produces only a narrow broadening in practice, as many states have very long lifetime compared to their oscillation frequency. Now, let us focus on the uncertainty principle, that is delta E delta T greater than equal to h cross. और जैसा कि अभी हमने थोड़ी देर पहले देखा कि जनरली एक जो हमारा इलेक्ट्रॉन का वेव फंक्शन है वो एक ही स्टेट में अनडिस्टर्ब्ड इनफाइनाइट इंडेफिनिटली वो रह सकता है. यानी अगर डेल्टा टी इनफाइनाइट हो जाता है तो डेल्टा ई इस अनसर्टेनिटी प्रिंसिपल से जीरो हो जाता है. यानी कोई भी इलेक्ट्रॉन का वेव फंक्शन अपने किसी एनर्जी स्टेट में जितना ज्यादा समय तक रहेगा उतना ही लाइन ब्रॉडनिंग उसका कम होगा, बिकॉज डेल्टा ई इज ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू एच क्रॉस बाय डेल्टा टी. और अगर देखिए प्राय ऐसा होता है कि इलेक्ट्रॉन कुछ ही समय तक अपने एक स्टेट में रहते हैं, उसके बाद वो ट्रांजिशन करते हैं, तो डेल्टा टी हैज सर्टेन फाइनाइट वैल्यू, एंड इफ डेल्टा टी हैज ए सर्टेन फाइनाइट वैल्यू, then delta E greater than equal to h cross by delta T will give some finite width of the energy. The energy level will have certain width, and if energy level has got certain width, then we can say E is equal to h cross omega. So that means delta E is equal to h cross delta omega. That means there will be a width in the frequency. That is, we will not have a monochromatic radiation coming out of a laser light. Now, let us see for the natural lifetime broadening. Generally, and this equation we have seen earlier also, rate of decrease of atoms in energy level 2 due to transition to energy level 1 is proportional to the number of atoms present per unit volume in that level with a negative sign. That is, dN2 dt is proportional to minus N2, and therefore dN2 dt is equal to minus A21 N2. And if you remember, this was Einstein's coefficient, and A21 is given by 1 by T spontaneous, where T spontaneous is the spontaneous lifetime. So for every transition from level 2 to level 1, energy h cross omega is released. Hence, energy released per unit time, per unit volume will be given by, if we multiply dN2 dt by h cross omega. So Wt is equal to mod dN2 dt into h cross omega. And certainly dN2 dt, we had minus A21 N2, and this we had seen in earlier classes that this N2 could be written as N20 e to the power of minus A21 into T. So this would be a e to the power of minus A21 into T taken from expression 1. So Wt can now be written finally as N20 A21 h cross omega e to the power of A21 into T. So equation 2 describes the variation of intensity of a spontaneously emitted radiation. तो इस तरह से स्पॉन्टेनियस एमिशन जो होगा उसका जो इंटेंसिटी होगा उस इंटेंसिटी को एक्सप्रेशन 2 रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है, जैसा आप देख सकते हैं. तो इसका करस्पॉन्डिंग अगर हम इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड लिखना चाहें तो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड उसके स्क्वायर रूट से हम लिख सकते हैं. तो E as a function of time could be written. This E is associated with a spontaneous radiation given by expression 2. So Et is equal to E naught e to the power of I omega naught T into e to the power of minus T by 2 T spontaneous. Mind it, here T spontaneous is equal to 1 by A21. And intensity is proportional to the square of the electric field. So we have now got, as per expression 3, electric field associated with this spontaneous radiation as a function of time. We need electric field as a function of frequency. So to arrive at the expression for a spectrum associated with the electric field, that is as a function of omega, E as a function of omega, let us make the Fourier transform. That is, E omega is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity Et e to the power of minus I omega t into dt is equal to E naught exponential minus I omega naught minus omega into t minus t upon 2t spontaneous dt. So we have to take the integral of this particular function to have the spectrum, and we have to have the electric field as a function of omega. So if we take out the integral, it can be written as E omega is equal to E naught 1 by 2 t spontaneous plus I omega minus omega naught. That is expression 4. So at t is equal to 0, here t is equal to 0 is the time when the atoms start emitting radiation that we had seen earlier also in this. In the beginning also we have seen that at t is equal to 0 is the time when the atoms start emitting radiation. So the power spectrum associated with this radiation will be proportional to E omega mod square, naturally. And therefore, if we take the square of expression 4, then we can write down the line function associated with this spontaneous emission or spontaneously emitted radiation. Then G omega can be written as all constants merged into one as K into 1 by omega minus omega naught whole square plus 1 by 4 T spontaneous square. Now, this T can be determined by the condition that G omega is normalized, and we know that this line shape function is a normalized function. Integral G omega d omega is equal to 1. So 5 gives the line shape function associated with the spontaneous emission in the spontaneous emission that we are just talking about. Now, substituting for G omega from 5 into 6, and then if we integrate, then K can be written as K equal to 1 by 2 pi T spontaneous. Thus, the normalized function, that the normalized line shift function, G omega can be written as G omega is equal to 2T spontaneous upon pi into 1 by 4 pi omega minus omega naught square T spontaneous square. Now, if we look carefully at expression 8, then this represents a Lorentzian that we have already seen. So function represented by 8, equation 8 is known as Lorentzian, and its full width at half maximum delta omega n is given as 1 by T spontaneous. So that is the story about the line broadening mechanism because of natural or lifetime broadening. So thank you very much for your kind attention. In the next class, we will cover the line broadening mechanism because of the collisions among the atoms. So collision line broadening mechanism will be the next class coming up.